Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. So before we dive into today's episode, which is Dorit Kemsley speaking out, saying that there is more to her split from PK than just alcoholism. I mean, duh. I personally think it's fraud. I think they're trying to get ahead of a potential lawsuit or some financial legal battle. As we all know, their house is in pre foreclosure because they are at least four payments behind on their mortgage, allegedly. So, duh, Dorit, there's definitely more to your split from PK. But before we dive into what she has to say, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. It's an easy way to support the show, and I really appreciate it. So, with that, let's go. So, this is from Reality Blurb. It says season 14 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills just premiered, and the show seems to have a ton of promise. Of course, Cal Richards is at the center of everything, but Dorit Kemsley might be a close second this time around. Now she's opening up about her drama with Paul P.K. Kemsley and saying that their issues go beyond what most people think. Plus, she's discussing what fans can expect from this season. Side note, I think we all know that Dorit basically had to step it up this season. I think the producers told her, you are on the line. You could lose your diamond, which would be losing I'm guessing that their main source of income is her Bravo check. I don't really know what money PK is making. I don't know what's going on with his businesses. Who knows? But it seems like that's the bulk of their income, and she's not going to want to lose that. And also her 15 minutes of fame, especially now that they are allegedly getting, divorced or separating, or whatever the case may be. Okay. As fans know, Dorit and PK got married in 2015 and have two kids together. However, the couple called it quits earlier this year following severe issues in their marriage. Recently, Dorit sat down for an interview with Decider to discuss the show, her personal issues, and much more. When asked how she felt going into this season, Dorit said, "It's interesting because I think at any given year, no matter what you're going through, knowing that you have to relive what you've already lived, especially if it's not always sunshine and rainbows, you have a little apprehension." Yes, to be fair, Kyle also echoed this same sentiment. She first came out saying, "Oh, me and Dorit were good, we're on better terms, we know better than the trailer." But then, once the trailer airs, once confessionals airs, once promos and interviews and podcasts air, that can kind of open that wound up again. And that's when Kyle was like, yeah, like things aren't good between us anymore. It's gotten back to being worse because it's hard to move forward with someone when you're just now seeing them be shady as hell to you or clown you or talk about you or betray you. So I get that. But again, I don't think that Kyle and Dorit were ever really friends. I think maybe Kyle thought they were, in the way that Kyle needs yes people around her. But I think Dorit was always using Kyle to secure her position on the show. But now that everybody's position on the show has been called into question, and now that just being Kyle's yes person is no longer going to fly, Dorit, I think, is just like, okay, well, now I can really tell you how I've always felt about you, Kyle. And I no longer am going to kiss your butt. And this is what it is because I don't really like you. That's what I think is really going on here. But let's keep going. Okay. Dorit then talks about what fans will see her go through this year, including her separation from PK. She says, "Yes, there's a lot going on this season. I started the season, PK and I separated. There's a lot of unfinished business, and I felt like I was coming into my power. I had a really difficult last few years post-home invasion and struggled a lot with emotional, mental, physical feelings. Luckily for Dorit, she was able to find ways to ease her issues. According to her, she says, but I was also able to actually do something about it and realize that the PTSD had kickstarted perimenopause, and I got involved with a company out of the UK that is called the Better Menopause, and their supplement, the Better Gut and the Better Night, really sort of changed my life." Oh my God. Dorit, you're again trying to be an influencer, which is fine. We all are at this point, but I'm pretty sure she's doing some sponsored campaigns for this, menopause company, this Better Menopause company. I bet you she'll be doing some promos, some events, some sponsored campaigns for them. Like, this is clearly brand ambassador written all over it. The whole home invasion thing, again, in my opinion, I think that was fake. I think that was an insurance scam that her and PK put together for them to get the money to bail him out of his, what do you call it, to bail him out of his gambling debts. It just so happened that the insurance matched how much he owed all these casinos. And I do think, in my opinion, I think she was in on the scam, and I think she's pissed. And I think what she's having PTSD from isn't the home invasion, but probably having to deal with it and having people question it and now being called out. Garcelle called her out. She won't even look at Garcelle anymore. So I think that it's more of that. I think it's more of Dorit wanting to up level. I think she's gotten, her glow up, whatever you want to call that, little nips and tucks and snips and dips, whatever, it's your body, do what you want. And I think she's tired of the schemes. I think she was cool with the schemes before, but now I think she's ready to just find a man who has money and she can quit scheming and scamming. Or her and PK know something's coming for them. Maybe it is the FBI. Maybe it is the insurance people. Maybe it is something. I don't know. I'm not saying this is true. I'm saying allegedly, maybe, who knows, okay? And they're trying to get ahead of it. People do this all the time where they fake separations in their marriages to protect the woman so that she gets to keep the money, she gets to keep the property, she keeps to get the quote gifts, the paintings and the designer jewelry and the clothes. We saw this with Erica Jane and Tom Girardi. We see this all the time with people, right? So maybe it's that. The whole alcoholism thing with PK, I'm not buying that for a second. On the show, PK said, I got sober and wanted a divorce. Dorit said he was drinking and I wanted a divorce. So which is it? Was he drinking that caused a divorce, or was it his sobriety that caused wanting a divorce? Doesn't make any sense. I think the most logical thing is it's something around the finances. Their house is going into foreclosure. I think it's around that. Okay. The interviewer then remarks on how Erica Jane was the first person she told about separating from PK. To that, Dorit says, I know, that's the irony for sure. But you know what? Eric and I have had a nice friendship over the years, and really I went to this season feeling like she was one of the only women that I felt a closeness to because I was having some issues with Kyle, and there was a lot of unfinished business. I mean, to be honest with you, I think that Dorit only has 1.5 friends on the show, which is Erica and Bozema. Bozema comes on the show. I like her, but I feel like she's going to be a pick-me to Dorit, and she's just going to be up Dorit's butt. And I don't think she's going to have a lot of her own personal, or rather personality. I hope I'm wrong. She seems cool, she seems chill, but I get the feeling she's going to be a bit boring and a bit of a Dorit pick-me-sha. But that's just early days assessment of her. Anyway, so she goes, then the topic of PK's drinking comes up. And Dorit goes into detail about how his sobriety helped their issues for a while. According to her, PK had always been a drinker, and I felt over the years that the drinking was contributing to a lot of our issues. But it's very difficult for you to try to get a person who's drinking to see it. So kudos to him. I asked him when we were working through some of our issues, I said, listen, you need to be clear. I need you to stop drinking for a week. And he did. So then she says that he realized he had an issue and decided to continue his break from alcohol. She says he's been sober for almost a full year now. Dorit then says, and then after that, a lot of the issues that we had been dealing with in the past few years, they reared their ugly head. So it clearly was a lot more than just alcohol. I think PK being sober is much more helpful for sure. See, again, what are those things? What are the issues? If it's not the drinking, if it's not the sobriety, then what exactly is it? She doesn't say. She doesn't say. So more nonsense. Okay? More nonsense. Girl, ding dong Dorit. Girl, bye. So let's see what else she has to say. She also goes on to diss Sutton Strack. The interviewer asked Dorit about Sutton's comment on her causing the most drama this season. Of course, Dorit disagrees and believes Sutton is the hypocrite for saying that. Dorit, know when to fold him, know when to hold him. Like, fold him. You going against Sutton is not a battle or a fight that you want. None of it is what you want. Like, you just don't want it, girl. Sutton will map you and mollywop you all day long. Name them, Dorit. So keep Sutton names out of your mouth. So with that, you guys, I want to know what you guys think. What do you think the core issues are in Dorit and PK's divorce? Do you think it's the drinking, the sobriety, or do you think it's more financial fraud, home foreclosures? Do you think we're ever going to get the real scoop? And what are you thinking about the upcoming season? Whose side are you on? Kyle or Dorit's, or Sutton's or Dorit's? And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye!